and welcome back to the channel today. My name is Jo and I am a movement teacher and mobility specialist here in Austin, Texas, and I help you get unstuck and break free from movement restrictions with movement and other modalities. So if you're new here, hello, we're going to be doing some spine stuff today that you could do, your grandma could do, pretty much everyone can do who has access to something to sit on and their body. Okay, so we're going to start by finding a seated position on a chair where your feet are able to sit nice and flat on the floor. From there, we're going to think about driving your feet down, and so that just means thinking about keeping equal pressure throughout your whole foot, spreading your toes, and then we're just thinking about driving those big toes lightly into the ground, keeping the toes spread. That just keeps us nice and active through the lower body, and it's going to help us block any movement here that could be coming from our hips. From there, I'm going to have you cross your arms. Now, a lot of the times when we cross our arms, we have a tendency to shrug the shoulders, so you can have them as low as you need to feel like you can keep those shoulders down. And then we're going to think about stacking the rib cage right underneath the hips. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video somewhere that I'll pop around here that's going to help you learn how to stack because that's going to be vital for movement, but it's particularly spinal movement. So we're stacking that rib cage over your hips. That allows us to take a deep breath. You cross the arms, take a big inhale, breathe into all four sides of your rib cage, and then exhale, create some tension. And we're going to think about finding what I like to call a high water pair of pants. Low abs, mid abs, upper abs. Like you could keep tension in the core, but we're getting longer as we recruit that tension. From there, we're going to start moving from the bottom. So you're going to think about rounding just your lower back, that space right underneath your belly button, your mid back, like someone is slowly walking up your back, coming into a rounded position. Everything on the front side of the body pulls you in. And then again, starting from the bottom, using all the tissue on the back side of the body, we're going to start to arch the other way. So I'm coming right here, that tissue right underneath my belly button, and like someone is slowly walking up our spine, we're going to extend. You're keeping those ribs and hips stacked. And then again, from the bottom, we're starting to round. Just that low back, one vertebrae of the low back at a time, your mid back, everything on the front side of the body pulls you in, your upper back, and then again from the bottom, like we're stacking it up. Good, keeping a lot of tension through the torso, like how we started, and then moving one vertebrae at a time. You can just kind of allow your neck to follow suit there. We're going to get it a little bit more specifically in a second. And you're going to take that really, really slow, imagining someone is tapping your spine as you go up and tapping your spine as you go down. Slower the better. Sometimes it helps to kind of touch where you're moving, so I'll kind of touch the area as I'm working because no one's here to tap my back. But if you have a partner, that could be something that they could be doing here too. Really, really slow and controlled. Good, and we're gonna do about 10 here, so I'm finishing up the last couple. Awesome, good. And you could have felt that anywhere in the front side of your body, anywhere along the spine. We're just getting our spine to remember that you can move at individual vertebrae again. And so the more you practice this, the more segmented and wave-like you can get it. Now we're gonna add some lateral flexion and rotation in. So you're gonna start by just stacking your ribs over your hips. We take an inhale, You breathe into everything. Exhale, we're finding that high water pair of pants. Low abs, mid abs, upper abs, staying really, really tight through the torso. Cross your arms. Equal pressure into the feet. You're gonna twist your spine one way, using everything on the side of the body one way, everything on the other side. And you're just thinking about keeping equal weight into your feet so your hips aren't able to twist. And then we're gonna do that same thing, rounding the spine, coming into a flex position. Press down through your feet. I'm using kind of like the inside, using one side, using the other side. These could be really small. Coming up through center, starting to extend the spine. We'll do that exact same thing. You're keeping those ribs and the hips stacked. You're moving one way, you're moving the other way. Good, and then we'll come back through center. Big inhale, exhale, take that pair of pants again. We'll find some lateral flexion. So you're gonna laterally flex one way, we're gonna laterally flex the spine the other way. And I'm doing about 5 to 10 of these, and remember, we're finding Goldilocks. Big enough for you to feel, and but small enough for you to be able to control. We're here, and that feels good in your body. And we're rounding, same thing, little lateral flexion. Good. We're coming up, and then you're gonna extend the spine. Awesome. Lovely. It could be daily spine work for your body. You could do something like this every day. We're gonna finish with the neck. So I want you to have a chair that you can put your hands under, just because a lot of the time the tendency with neck work is to shrug your shoulders. So we want our ribs and hips to stack, our shoulders to be down and back, and now take your hands under the bench and you can use that to kind of pull those shoulders in that down and back position. Big inhale, exhale, we're thinking about finding that high water pair of pants. We're gonna come down towards the chest. Everything on the front side of the neck is gonna pull you in. We're gonna scrape the chin across the chest, start to laterally flex, leaning back. Now we're starting to use the back of the neck. And then again, your body stays still. We're keeping that tension through our midsection. We're coming through the other side. Now, I'm talking as I do these, but you should be keeping your mouth closed, and then you want your tongue somewhere on the top of your mouth, because that can help us release the jaw while we're doing this neck work. So let me do a couple like that with my mouth closed too. And you're gonna do somewhere between 5 to 10 of these. And then start going through the other way. As we get better, keeping the tension in the core, but you can start activating the part of your neck that you're using. So right now I'm using the side, right now I'm using the back, the side, the front. Awesome. And that can be used as a diagnostic tool. Did you have any spots of that circle that as you got towards a corner, it felt like a pinch or pain? That means you need more flexion and extension, which is right at what we're about to do. And it might be helpful to get in for a movement assessment. It would be helpful with someone like me, because you're actually able to work on your vertebrae independently in your whole spine, but especially your neck, to open up space there, because each vertebrae is like its own individual joint, and we're able to open up space in between all of those so they move independently again, and that helps reduce the restrictions or pain when you do your circles. With all that being said, this one can also help with that too over time. I like to tell people to think of their neck more like a fruit roll-up than a Pez dispenser, okay? Fruit roll-up, not Pez dispenser, you'll see what I mean. Hands are gonna come underneath, your ribs and your hips are stacked, your shoulders pull back. We take that inhale, you're zipping up through the core. One vertebrae at a time, tongue's gonna stay on the top of your mouth. You're acting like a fruit roll-up, and you're gonna start to segment your neck coming down, using everything on the front side. And then, starting from the bottom, you're gonna act like a little fruit roll-up, Extend your neck. Good. And after you've done around 5 to 10 of those, that's perfect. And if that circle felt painful, you can practice the flexion extension, and over time, that circle will feel more open for you and less restricted. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit me a subscribe for more content like this that you could do, your grandma could do from everywhere, and be sure to share with your friends who all need this, by the way. Happy moving. Thanks for moving with me today, y'all.